She likes hearing that in her title. Mary Shearer Eckert. Mary, congratulations on best-selling author on Amazon, top 5 in some categories. You got to feel very excited.
I am very excited, and I thank you, Neil, for being the one that helped me to learn me how to get out there with this book. You have been wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much. I've enjoyed our conversations and can't wait for these conversations as we work together for a lot longer time when you continue to write books. So let's just jump right into it, Mary, and talk about, a topic today you want to talk about is restoration. Explain that to us.
Okay. Uh, you know, one of the things I like to talk about with women is you just don't stop with forgiveness. God is in the restoration business also, and he wants to restore your life to what it was intended to be. Not just forgive you for your mistakes, you forgive yourself for your mistakes, but also the restoration of going forward. And with God, it's up to him. But trust in him and growing your faith and letting go of the past and not letting that past keep you bogged down, because it can. And that's what Satan wants. He wants you to stay bogged down. And God has a purpose for your life. And he can use every single bad thing that has ever happened to you or around you, whether you were a child growing up or whether it was a bad marriage, whatever it was, God can take that and turn it around and use it for his glory. I have seen that. I have felt that. And my book is full of that, because just about every character in there has been restored. When I'm not going to say a lot about that, because then that's going to give the book away. So you got to.
No, no, you don't have to talk about, but restored. So when you're talking about then getting to even bigger greatness than you were before, meaning God's love, but also just really being back in the optimal level as one of God's children. It sounds like that's what you mean by restoring.
Yes, yes. Uh, you want to go forward, and you don't want to inundate people with what's happened to you in your past. You can use that. You can use what's happened to you and say, this is where I was. This is where I am now because of the grace of God and because of his love. And that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to be a guiding light out of the darkness. And when there is darkness in our life, all of us go through it. Every single person on the face of the earth has some darkness that they have gone through in some shape, form, or fashion. There's no body living that was perfect. And he wants us to use that, give it to him. You have to give it to him, and then he gives it back to you as a gift of forgiveness. And forgiveness is a gift to forgive the people that have hurt you, that have caused you pain, suffering of any kind, to actually truly forgive them. There was a time in my life, Neil, when I didn't want to forgive the man that hurt me the most. And my mother kept telling me, and she called me Sissy. She said, Sissy, you're going to have to forgive him. You're going to have to pray and ask God to forgive him. And I said, well, Mom, I can pray, but I'm not going to mean it. And the best thing she ever told me, Neil, she said, pray until you do. And that is so true, because it took years for me to forgive him, but I have forgiven him, and I pray for him daily. And one of these days, my prayer is that I'll see him in heaven, that he is
Mm.
forgiven, that God does find him, or he finds God. And that's the restoration I'm talking about, is that God has restored my heart. He has restored my life and given me a wonderful life in him. And you cannot do it on your own. You've got to have Jesus Christ in your life. You cannot do this by yourself.
And what you then do in this situation, you know what I mean, is basically you feel reborn again to do
Yes,
what you need to do.
yes. You are reborn. That's exactly what it means. You become the person of God that you were meant to be by letting go of all that stuff. But it's also, God uses that, and you have to let him. You don't just go off somewhere and pat yourself on the back and say, well, I've forgiven him and I'm good. Everything's just fine, because it's not. You're going to go up and down all through your life. something else is going to come along. But you have that, you grow that faith, and you know that God is with you every step of the way. He is there in your darkest moments, and he's there when the light is shining, because he is the light and he's the one that's shining. But we're supposed to be lights to everybody else. And we need to get out there and say, okay. And so many people know my past. I mean, I one of the girls in the book, she's Irish, and they get in all kinds of shenanigans. And I did too growing up. But that's just part of growing up. You're going to make mistakes. But with God, those mistakes can be turned in something actually beautiful, because you can sit in a classroom and learn from a book. But when you have life experiences and you can share with people, they become real. And in my book are real experiences. And that's one of the things I enjoyed writing about the book, because I wanted it to be so real that people can say to themselves, oh, I know how that feels. I know how this feels. I've been there. But it doesn't matter. God is there too. And he loves us. And he wants to restore our lives.
And that's the important thing. And so tell us again about your book as we finish that. This is a great topic we covered today. I enjoyed the conversation with you, because it really, what it touches upon in so many ways, Mary, is that there are so many ways that we can change our lives and on a dime and make a
Yes.
change,
Yes.
regardless of how we feel. The next experience, we can kind of bring ourselves back. And there are this darkness times where you think is just going wrong. Mary, what advice do you offer people when they have that? It can be any type of loss. It can be a loss of a job. It could be a loss of some, or having to cut back because of the economy, or different things that really just pain you. How do you kind of go to not let this, spiral out of control to more things?
Well, a lot of times I tell people God never closes a door unless he leaves a window open. Just because one door closes, you go and to the Lord in faith, and you just say, okay, I don't understand this. I don't know why this has happened to me, but I know that you're real, and I know you're there, and there's something better out there. And you just give it back to him, and you trust in him. And one of the virtues is patience, which I am not real good at. Patience is not one of my virtues, but I'm trying. But you have to have patience and let God work and not jump ahead of him. Too many people jump ahead of God and they try to do it their own way, and it comes crashing down again. But God always provides a way out when anything bad happens. He's there. If you have the faith to go to him, and you just tell yourself, well, maybe this isn't the direction I needed to go. I just need to wait and see what else shows up.
And then what else how it shows up is going to really open your eyes to so many more things.
That's right.
If you're looking at a bad experience and saying, I can't get any benefit out of this, we're missing out on some important things in life.
There was a time in my life when everything was dark. And I used to cry out to God and say, why, God, why? Why is this happening to me? So many people do, men and women. Why? Why, God? I trusted you. I believe in you. But over time, as you grow closer to him and you let him be the Lord of your life and he's leading the way, there came a time, Neil, when I honestly said, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you
Mm.
for every single tear I cried, every heartbreak I went through. Thank you. Because now I understand that it is your plan. It is not my plan. I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you just a year ago. I never knew this was going to happen. I didn't even think about it. So to me, it's amazing how God works, and he does.
And you never know what to expect next,
Never.
especially when you have those days and then you're saying, okay, why did I think like this? Why did I do this?
Exactly.
There's another day, another opportunity, and you got to keep going,
You
because
do.
there's so many more opportunities to come.
Yep.
And you could take a loss, and that's, I think, a lot of people make the mistake, is a loss is hard for people to swallow. It's hard
Yeah.
for people pride wise. Why now? Why this? Why this circumstance? Instead of going forward
Yeah.
and doing what God has made us to do
You never
to
know.
create.
I
Yeah.
mean, just like right now, I didn't know this. I started writing this book nearly 7 years ago, and it was just writing. And look at it now. And I want it to be a tool, a blessing to everybody that picks it up. Because when people call me and say, Mary, your book blessed me, that blesses me. That's the reason I wrote the book. That's the reason I want it out there, is to bless others.
Yes.
And that is my prayer for that book.
100%. And when you miss and that's the thing. And there you go. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do by writing the book. Show us the cover. Everyone needs to see it. Now you have the book.
Okay.
You have it? Okay, there it
Yes,
is.
I have it. I put it
Oh,
down. Where did I put
okay.
it? Oh, there it
Okay,
is.
there it is.
There you go.
Now we'll hold it up higher so everyone can see. There you go. Wounded Sisters. What a beautiful cover, beautiful book.
It
Everyone
is.
needs to check it out. It's available on Amazon, or you can go to maryshearereckert.com as well. Appreciate it, Mary. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, you're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.